Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of Paradigm Shift. I am your host, Marlo. I've been gone for a while, gotta be honest. Summer's kind of taken over, started a new relationship. It's really going well. But I'm back, I'm feeling re-energized. I'm feeling like, I've had a lot of life experiences in the last 2 months, and I'm just ready to come back and talk some more about spirituality and help you guys out with a lot of different things. I have a ton of things planned. So anyway, today I'm going to be talking about the past and the future, mainly the future, and how overthinking can actually screw up the future for us. And what I really mean by that is we only live in the now. We live in the present time, but our minds have been kind of trained or have developed, the human mind has developed the ability to think about the future, to project the future. And the future never actually exists. And that might be something hard to wrap your mind around because, everywhere you hear, there's a lot of these motivational accounts, motivational speakers, blah, blah, blah. They're like, think about the future. The best things they haven't come yet. It doesn't matter about right now. It doesn't matter about what's going on right now. The future is going to be better. And I used to think like that a lot. I used to always think, oh, my life is shitty right now. And it's all good because it's going to be better in the future. Well, what I've realized through just learning about spirituality, Eckhart Tolle, that name's back again, is the future doesn't actually exist. And that kind of maybe sounds like a weird thing to say, and you're thinking, what do you mean the future doesn't exist? Like, of course it exists. I think about the future all the time. I'm thinking about what I have to do tomorrow. I'm thinking about what I have to do in 5 minutes. I'm thinking about where I'm going to be in 5 years. The future is essential, right? Maybe you're thinking, yeah, I love the future because there I am a superstar. In the future, I have a wife and kids. In the future, I'm a millionaire, right? And that's good because how am I ever going to get to the place that I want to be, right? But the thing is, when you do that constantly, you can create a ton of anxiety, right? You have to go to a wedding on the weekend and it's Wednesday, right? You have to go in 3 days and you start thinking one night before you go to sleep, oh no, I suck in big crowds. Oh no, what do I say if Margie comes up to me and starts talking about that time that we hooked up and blah, 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 blah. Oh no, my present that I got, they're not going to like it. They're going to blah, 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 right? We think about the future so much, so constantly that we project these things that don't exist. The only place these things exist is in our minds. So when you're constantly doing that, it might start off good, right? You might start off about thinking about how you're going to be a millionaire, how you're going to have a great house, you're going to find the perfect significant other, you guys are going to have kids, you guys are going to travel the world. Eventually, the mind always turns negative. For most people, the thoughts always turn negative. And why that is because the ego and the pain body likes to feel that pain. It strengthens itself by your pain. So eventually your pain body is going to seep in and it's going to start thinking negative things. It's going to start thinking, what if I fall down in front of everybody when I'm dancing? We've all had this. I used to get it a lot. Sometimes I still do, but by being present, by being in the moment, by using the techniques that I've talked about before, by being here, there is no past, there is no future, right? I mean, let me just talk about the future now. Maybe another video I can talk about the past, because that's a whole different beast, right? So future. When we live in the present moment, we are actually able to do the things we need to do to accomplish that quote unquote future self that you are always thinking about, right? We like to idealize, oh, I'm going to have a six pack by then, 5 years or 1 year or 6 months. I'm going to have a six pack in 6 months, right? But if all you're doing is constantly thinking about the you in 6 months, it is hard to get the work done and needed now. All the things we do are now. Like in the scope of life, right? This is beginning and end. You're born, you're dead. We're never living in the future. The timeline, just like the timeline I'm looking at, my audio timeline, is moving, right? We start here, boom, it's moving. You're this. You're here in the present. You're never in the present and then jumping to the future. You can't jump to the future. It doesn't exist. The future is a mind concept. It's something fake made up that maybe we developed so we could plan things. Now, you're asking, well, so you're telling me the future is, thinking about the future is not ever important. It's never good to do that. Well, that's not necessarily the case. You do need to think of the future in certain situations, right? If you are planning a vacation, if you got to plan a vacation, you need to think, where do I want to go? Where are we going to stop? Where should we eat? Right? But the trick is you use that future thinking only when you need it. Boom, then you're back to the present. When you're done planning, you're back to the present moment. And the reason it's so essential and important to be present, to live right now, live in this moment, is because, again, when you're constantly thinking about the future, you might start off thinking about great things, but eventually the pain body is going to take over. The ego is going to take over, and you're going to start thinking, you know what? Maybe in the future, I'm going to take over the world. Maybe in the future, I'm going to destroy my friends at basketball. Maybe in the future, I'm going to dominate everyone. That's the ego. And then the pain body is saying, oh no, I have that meeting tomorrow. Oh no, that meeting is going to go horribly. My boss is going to hate my ideas. And then all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. You can't sleep because you are projecting this fake world, right? So you got to bring it into the present. And we know how to do that using our senses, breath, visuals, touch, really noticing the small details, right? When you're in the car, before you start driving, you look at the windshield and you see water, raindrops dripping down. You're there, you're looking at it. When you notice these small details, it brings you into the now. And then it's going to take time. My whole message is always going to be, bring it back to the present moment. Right? I can make one video and just tell you, your number one goal is to be present. That's it. Right? Then everything else, because I have someone very close to me who we talk about things like this, and she asks me, like, I like your videos, but I don't understand, like, you don't conclude it. You don't tell us what we need to do in the end, right? But I do. And the thing is being present is the number one goal. And through that comes all the beautiful, amazing things that you want to experience. You know, I'm always going to go back to Michael Jordan because I respect him as a basketball player, as someone who plays sports, as someone who is elite at the thing that he does. When Michael Jordan is on the court, he is not thinking about his gambling problems, about the money he owes, about his contract. And if he ever is, it's gone quickly. Because when he's on the court and he's battling and he's about to hit that game winner, he is in the moment. And it's probably not conscious. He probably doesn't know that this is what, maybe that's the thing, is like, he and many other people who are amazing at their talents, they probably know when I do my thing, when I'm in the zone, when I'm playing the sport or acting or blah, 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 it brings me in the moment. They probably don't know or understand how to do that outside of their chosen job or whatever. But they know that when they're on the basketball court, on the tennis court, in front of a camera, they are in the moment. So to kind of bring it all back again, the future does not exist. The past does not exist. Or I'm going to do a video on the past because that's a big thing as well. But using the future as a tool, right? If you need to plan something, if you need to buy food, you got to think about what you need to make chicken teriyaki sauce. You're thinking about the future, right? If you just went out, never really looked up the recipe, never wrote down what you needed to buy, that's going to take a lot longer than if you thought about the future. Okay, I need to make chicken teriyaki 2 hours from now. I'm going to look at a recipe, write it down. I need this, I need this, I need this. Where am I going to go to get this food? Well, this shoppers or this grocery store might not have the ingredients I need, but if I go to an Asian store, if I go to a bigger store that might have Asian products or the things that I need for this, then that is okay, right? But it all circles back to being present, being in the moment. Another thing that I've experienced being in a relationship, I haven't been in a relationship in a long time. Like, obviously I've met women and gone on dates, but a real relationship, I'm only about 2 months in or something, like 3 months, and it's going really amazing. And shout out to you if you're watching. I miss you. Oh my God. I miss you. But anyways, I experienced one thing that Eckhart Tolle talks about is when you get into a romantic relationship, it is going to be the most challenging relationship that you're going to have because it's so intimate, because it's so close. All the things that you need to work on are going to come out to the forefront. And I am very happy to say that those things that have come out to the forefront are smaller things. And I feel that overall I'm in a very good place and I'm in an awesome place with my girlfriend. But those future things started to come up for me as well. Like she was working a job, so she got laid off during the pandemic from one of her jobs and then got an office job. And we basically had the same days off. So every weekend we would see each other and we would go to these amazing adventures. And it was just amazing, right? It was perfect. Everything was perfect. Then she got called back to go to her previous job. And now her schedule is different. Now she doesn't have weekends off for the most part. Now I have weekends off and I'm thinking, I can't see her or go to these places. And she hadn't even gone back to her job yet. And I was laying up in bed at night thinking, this is going to be fucking brutal. We're never going to see each other. All the adventures that I wanted to go on with her, we're never going to do. I can even feel emotion right now. You know, when you're in a relationship, if everything is so strong, everything is like magnified, right? When you have friends and things don't go well, you know, for the most part, maybe you're like, oh, it's all good. Maybe I'll see them in a week or a month, or it's all good. But when it's someone you deeply share a connection with, when you're intimate, when it's, you know, a relationship with a significant other, these things come to the forefront. And I had to really go deep into myself and work on the things that I have been talking about and preaching, right? And telling people about. I even talked to her about these type of things, right? Be in the moment, be present. Then I'm sitting there tripping out about her going to her new job and like, it's over. We're never going to see each other. This summer has been so beautiful and it's over. You know what I mean? And I was definitely thinking those thoughts. And the one thing that I did was I confronted them head on. Like, I thought about them. I let myself, that's the thing. You got to let yourself, whatever emotion you are experiencing, use that emotion to bring yourself into the present moment. If you're experiencing sadness or jealousy or fear or hurt or pain or anger, it's okay. We are all human. Even me, who has studied spirituality for the last 10 years, I deal with these things. But for me, I know the tools I'm going to experience them, but they're going to be far shorter than if I have never worked on this before. Whereas before, maybe I would let it spiral out of control and I would never tell her how I felt. You know, one thing that I've noticed is my communication is so much better now compared to my last relationship, which was a long time ago, over maybe 5 years or like 3 years. I don't know what it was, but it was a long time ago. My communication is so much better. I'm not scared to tell her I'm scared. And we talk things through, we work things out, and I literally just talked to her and said, this is how I'm feeling, right? And then she told me this is how she was feeling. She wasn't that worried. And even by myself, I faced up to it, right? I went into it. I let myself feel that. I really let myself feel it. Then it goes away because you're present. When you're present, you're not able to feel the future and the past and all that bullshit. It just brings you here. And you know, I had to go through the motions. I didn't just say, you shouldn't be thinking about that. You're the one who's telling all these people to live in the moment and blah, 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 blah. You know, I didn't let myself feel down about it. I just felt it, felt the fear, felt the pain, felt the sadness or some sort of jealousy. Like, I don't want her to go back. You know, I had these thoughts. I don't want her to go back. I hope she stays at her old job, blah, 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 blah. But through the present moment, I realized, like, that's not up to me. If she loves her old job, she needs to be there. It has nothing to do with me. And I'm just happy that I feel like I'm past it now, that I'm in my new space and I feel happy and okay and happy for her that she's back at the job that she really likes. So that was another thing that, you know, it could have spiraled out of control. Maybe we would have had fights about it in the past. If I had gone out with her 3, 4, 5 years ago, who knows what could have happened, right? But truth is, it didn't. I learned a lot and I feel in a much better place. And And if you're experiencing things like that, you got to also know that it will get better. But the only way to get better is to start learning about these things and practicing them, right? I told you I started 10 years ago, and it took me 7-8 years to feel good. It took me 10 years to feel I could teach it. So wherever you are in your journey, just know it really does get better, but you have to practice. You have to learn. If you don't, you will stay the same. But be present. Find presence, right? Anyways, that's going to be the episode. Paradigm Shift, episode 5. Marlo was back. We're staying in the moment. Take a deep breath with me. Feel the air going into your lungs, spreading into your body. When you exhale, feel the air coming out of your lungs, out of your lips. What do you see? I see a light in front of me. What do you hear? I hear the fan of my computer. What do you taste? I taste teriyaki chicken that I was eating a little earlier. Got some little pieces left in my teeth. You're in the present. You're here. That's Paradigm Shift. Peace out. See you soon.